Well, folks, after having fought against Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer's gun control agenda all year long, it's great to give you news of a victory, and we have that for you here today. Aaron Dorr here, guys, with Iowa Gun Owners. And as you know, we spent much of the fall talking about, warning you guys about, and having you take action to help us stop H.R. 4350. This was the National Defense Authorization Act, the military's annual funding bill. And when this bill first passed out of the House in late September, as you probably remember, it contained red flag gun seizures for our military. So what that would do is allow any member of our armed forces to be attacked by a red flag allegation. Maybe it came from an ex-spouse or an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend, or many different kinds of people could file these attacks. And if these were filed against a member of the military, they would be considered by a military court judge in private, the same as it would be if they were for civilian red flag laws. In other words, the service member is never allowed to be in the room. He has no idea there's an allegation made against him until it's all said and done. And if a judge finds that there's credible evidence that that person could be dangerous, well, then that's it. You lose your gun rights. And for the members of the military, you may actually lose your entire career over these allegations before you have ever been charged or convicted of a crime. It is a horrific attack on due process, and in this case, on our own military. Now, again, when this bill passed out of the House in September, that's what was in there. And sadly, many Republicans across the country in Congress voted for this, including Congressman Feenstra and Congresswomen Miller Meeks and Hinson. And we talked to you guys about that. We urged you to contact them and take action, and you did. And so just days ago, the final version of this legislation was passed, and I'm very happy to report to you that the new version, which is now called S1605, does not contain any red flag gun seizure legislation inside of it. And I'm happy to report that Iowa's congressional delegation on the Republican side voted correctly on this issue, and this matter has now been resolved. But I want to point out the fact that this is the kind of stuff that, without your involvement, without your action, without the pressure that you helped us bring to bear, this bill may have passed in its original format. You see, gun owners are the ones who ensure our freedoms here in America. You guys are the ones who are holding the line, making phone calls, sending off emails to your congressman, and making sure they know that you're watching their every move. And it worked out in a major way. Our sources on Capitol Hill are telling us that the Republican conference was terrified throughout October and out November. They realized that they stepped in it in a major way by giving Pelosi what she wanted and aiding her in passing red flag gun seizure laws. They stepped in it, and they knew that because they heard from so many of you. They heard from so many gun owners, and they knew that they've got to fix this problem in very quickly. So I want to thank you again for all of your activism. Sometimes you might think to yourself, I'm just not sure this is worth it. I'm not sure anybody's listening. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. They want you just to say, you know what? My activism doesn't matter. I'm just going to give up. Folks, that's not the case. Your actions stopped H.R. 4350 cold. Your actions helped us pass constitutional carry earlier this year. And your actions are going to help us fight for SAPA law next session in Des Moines. So a big thank you to everyone who helped us stop this garbage. And I want to encourage you guys then, if you're not yet renewed your membership for 2022, now is the time. Your activism is winning the day when it comes to our gun rights. We are stopping Joe Biden's agenda right now in D.C. for the moment. We are passing good pro-gun bills in Des Moines right now. That's because we have the resources to fight with, because people like you are so generous with your support. So again, if you haven't renewed your membership, now is the time. We have big fights on the horizon in 2022. Get involved in these fights, guys. Renew your support today. And thank you again for helping us block H.R. 4350, red flag gun seizure laws in the military. Take care.